recognized for 5 minutes.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Thank you, Mr. Secretary, for being here. Mr. Secretary, do you support the government having a consolidated database containing Americans' sensitive financial, health, and personal information?
I support protecting Americans.
Do you support the consolidated database?
I support protecting Americans' personal
based
information on current law.
I think it's very concerning that you're not able to say no. This is not a partisan question. In fact, just last week, Republican Representative Warren Davidson responded to reports that DOJ is merging huge sets of data from across federal agencies into a centralized repository. He said it's dangerous when you start combining all those data points on an individual into one database. It's a power that history says will eventually be abused, end quote. Well, I could not agree more, and would also add that this kind of database would be a goldmine for malicious actors who are eager to exploit Americans' sensitive data. And Mr. Secretary, Section 6103 sets forth the confidentiality and disclosure rules for tax returns and tax information. Just because DOJ wants to compile people's sensitive information into one place doesn't mean the confidentiality rules go away. Is that correct?
We adhere to 6103.
So it seems like, you know, that should be a simple one too. We should absolutely be clear that the confidentiality rules did not go away. In fact, earlier in this hearing, you asserted that the Treasury Department is following, I think you said, the proper provisions within the Privacy Act, all proper provisions within the Privacy Act and Section 6103. So my question for you is, how can we be sure that's happening? I mean, especially knowing that the president illegally fired 18 inspectors general, including acting Treasury IG Sherba. How do we know? I'm sorry, you saying that isn't good enough. We're an oversight body. How do we know?
Again, I will say that we are following the law,
But we need, that's not good enough, Mr. Secretary. You should be coming. We should have officials within Treasury coming. We should, and this is a statement to my colleagues on the other.
I'm here today.
But you're not answering how we know that. You're just saying we are. So
what would an acceptable
then let's
answer
bring
to
then
how
let's
do we
bring
know
people
be?
who are building a database. Let's go through the details of exactly what you are doing with that data, what protections are in place. We should have hearings doing that. In fact, we requested hearings on this from our partners on the other side of the aisle, refused to bring people from DOJ, et cetera, into this committee so we can be sure that, a consolidated database.
A judge in the Southern District of New York has ruled that all of our protocols are
Mr. Secretary, we are a co-equal branch of government. We are the oversight body. I'm answering, I asked that question because it is part of my job not to have you just say it's okay.
And a judge's
then
word,
let's
I'm
look
not
at
sure
it.
how to satisfy.
I think because we actually have the authority to get that detail. We are oversight. We are not just here to have you say, don't worry about it. We're here to get detail. And I want you to be clear that it helps, this is a risk to the American people. This is sensitive personal information. There is no clarity on how this is being protected. Early on in this administration, people were given access to information with no controls. We have not had folks come into hearings. That's not good enough, Mr. Secretary, and I'm supportive of making sure that we are using technology in smart ways. I'm also very supportive of making sure that we are protecting people's personal information and we are following the law. 6103 is clear, and there is no, and now this consolidation, there's no approval on how this consolidation takes place, and you can't even be clear to me that you're about where you stand in terms of making that happening. So I don't think we're getting the information.
Maybe it did not filter up to you, but we provided a staff level briefing several weeks ago.
Then let's bring folks, I want to ask the questions, frankly. It's not about whether or not you had a staff level briefing. Let's bring experts to answer detailed questions in this body so that we get those answers. You know, I have a technology background. I'm happy to have those detailed conversations of exactly who's given access, how that access is given, and how we are making sure that information is protected. We absolutely have to make sure that there are no violations, that there are the right protocols put in place. We have no
Gentlewoman's
data
time
to
has
say that.
expired.
We just have, you'd say, just trust me, it's okay. That's not good enough, and
and a
Mr.
judge in the
Chairman.
Southern District of New York.
Gentlewoman's
that-
time has expired.
Mr. Chairman, I yield back.